Welcome back to the ProgRock Digital Podcast.
Thank you.
Nice to be touching base again with you, man. And it's just under, I guess, unfortunate circumstances that we're here chatting because I really wanted to pick your brains and just get your thoughts on some of the crap that I'm seeing online, I guess, with regards to your thoughts and your opinions on the state of affairs in the US. Um, you know, uh, I there are words that I'm seeing that paint you as a bigot or as a racist, and for me, it's just absolutely
You forgot anti-Semite too.
well, yeah, which is really interesting. But we'll touch on that very soon. It's just man, I've just been blown away by what it is that I've read, and it's just absolutely wrong. And I would love your thoughts on this because it's affecting you. It's affecting, your band, your brand. You've got a
Well, it's
tour
affecting a
coming up,
lot.
you
Well,
know?
there's a well, it's not really affecting the tour coming up here in the States, but it's affecting a lot of other bands. A lot of other bands have been over the years this has happened to, and now there's like guys coming out of the woodwork going, "Oh yeah, this is what they did to me," and all those kind of great things. So,
Mm,
um, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. The bottom line, what everybody's getting all bent about was my sense of humor and sarcasm in a post that I made.
mm,
And basically, here's the thing that people don't like. I'm American. I back our administration. I back our laws, and I'm pro law enforcement and upholding the laws of the United States. My big break was not playing with Fate's Warning or playing with Warlord. My big break was being raised by parents that taught me right and wrong, to obey the law, to be civil, to speak your mind, but not to be disgusting or act like a 6-year-old. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So that was my big break. Okay. And it's not going to change. Anybody that knows me will tell you I'm the same person I was when I was 5, 6, 12, 15, 27, 37, 47, 57.
Mm,
It is what it is. If you don't like the sense of humor, too bad. If you're not able to kind of grasp where I'm coming from when I say, how can these guys, work hard jobs during the day and then what, at night they're going to go out and cause mayhem and like work 24-hour shift? They didn't understand that I was saying that ICE was picking up the criminals, not the workers in Minnesota. Because a post came out and it said that ICE had captured 3,000 murderers, rapists, pedophiles, whatever,
mm.
call them what you will, the criminals. And everybody was like, oh, they're they're picking up the workers and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, no, they have the warrants, and if Minnesota would have cooperated like they wound up doing after Homan got there and just taking the criminals right out of the jails, we would have never had these problems. But again, it always amazes me when you see, again, I would have no balls on me to talk about Greek politics or French politics
Mm.
or German politics. I don't live there. I don't know anything about it. And honestly, I don't care because I'm not there.
Yeah,
But it's funny how everybody that doesn't live here in the United States, that has no idea of what's really going on, they're listening to CNN and whatever crap that everybody hears over there. And I'm sure it's a one-sided affair. They're not really hearing the truth or seeing the truth or being able to flip like here, you can flip back and forth between stations and see kind of both sides and make up your own mind. But everybody's got an opinion, and they think they know what's going on, and they don't, And I'm not saying that my opinion is the right one or the wrong one, but if you've ever noticed, so many of my posts are like, please explain to me why this isn't working, or please explain to me why why would anybody vote against the SAVE Act, which here in the States is something where they want to have it. You have to have photo ID. And there's a law, and the Democrats are voting against it to have photo ID to vote. But it's funny because there's a big windstorm or a big snowstorm coming into New York this weekend.
mm,
And Mondami, the mayor, it has a program. Hey, $19 an hour. You can, if we'll supply the shovels and you can work for the city. By the way, you need to show up with two forms of photo ID to register, but you don't need a photo ID to vote. Okay? But it's just kind of ridiculous. Basically, it's a faction that just kind of picked it up and ran with it. The thing that really disturbs me too, and we don't even need to get into that's a multicultural band. Look at the bass player that I've insisted on for the last 17 years of my playing career. Every record I ever do, every tour I ever do is with him.
Mm,
Okay. So I don't want to hear that. Please. I'm a lot of things, racist, bigot, and all that kind of stuff can go out the window. Anybody will tell you I basically distrust and dislike everybody equally.
mm,
Okay.
mm,
I have two rules with my kids that I've taught them. Number one, people suck. Okay. Go into it thinking they're going to suck. If you find someone who's cool and someone who's nice and someone that you can trust, then you latch onto it. But keep your eyes open because people suck, period. Number two is life's just about people separating other people from their money. Okay.
mm.
So the bottom line is, I don't care, you know, about anything unless you can play, if you're cool, but in a band situation, I just care if you can play. I picked those guys. I didn't join their band.
Yeah.
So I'm picking immigrants to play in my band. Okay. It's the same thing when I was playing sports. I didn't care. I didn't care if you were 2 feet tall and you were missing an arm. Could you play? Are you going to help me win? Are you going to help my band be better? Do I dig playing with you? That's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. That's all it's about. So it's just gotten way blown out of shape. And the thing that actually bothers me is the festival, the Rock Hard Festival, signed us up a while ago. Okay. If you had a problem, why didn't you get on the phone or internet, whatever,
Yeah.
contact me, dude, what's going on with this? What is this? Explain it to us, take it down, whatever, whatever. Nothing, nothing until it all went down. Okay. Again, this is kind of what the difference between me and a lot of people. I got on the phone with the guy. I called him straight out.
Mm,
I got on the phone. He was a little shocked, I'm sure. Very closed-lipped. Didn't know really what to say. I basically explained myself, and he had his mind made up to where he was going. I don't want to get into to deep my deep thoughts on like what's going on and the virtue signaling and everybody thinks they're crusaders of the world and we're going to save the world and rid it of this and that and the other. The bottom line is it's rock and roll, okay? I have an opinion, you have an opinion. You obviously I don't have to play your festival, okay? You have the right not to have me play, but don't sign me up 3 months ago, then wait till we put a tour together around that. We advertise for it. We get ready to go to do this. And then you don't even call me. You go through the agent. And I've had a relationship with Rock Hard for like 20, 30, 40 years. From all the different bands I've played in, the A through Z, did like number two record there last time the second record came out. Did an amazing interview with a guy named Ludwig Kramer there over the years. It's just it's just annoying that people operate like that. But again, everybody has their opinions, and that's great. And if you don't want us to play at the festival, that's great. But don't like sign us up and then blow us off. And also, too, another thing that kind of pissed me off was the fact that it's one thing of like, okay, we don't agree, you can't play our festival. Okay, cool. But now you're going to spend, the rest of your time, just totally defaming a 40-year-old band that's been around for a long time. You're going to spend the time and the effort to piss all over this band, send it out to everybody that you can, turn this into like your big crusade of like, hey, look at this. We found the Nazis in your band here, and we're gonna get rid of them. And aren't we great people? But you could have just said, "Hey, you guys, I'm sorry, but we made a decision. We're just not going to play. Let's handle this in a situation where we'll keep it kind of on the down low. You guys can say, you had a scheduling conflict, whatever, and everybody would go on their merry way.
yeah. Yeah.
But and then it wouldn't have killed us or anything like that, and then I wouldn't have to be dealing with this. But they didn't, and it's like a little cult thing. and they send it out to little, it's like a network
So in
kind
terms
of.
of that, in terms of the network, in terms of how that's going to work and how that's going to pan out, what is the ramifications now with regards to other shows in and around that
Nothing at this point.
show?
Nothing at this point.
Mm,
That's the only one.
yeah.
And the funny part of it is that I think the part that I just can't stop laughing at, who in God's name is Mark Zonder? That you're gonna build a thing on Mark Zonder? Now, if this was Richie Blackmore or Bruce Dickinson or someone, okay, cool, I get it. You're spending your time with Mark Zonder and you're going to room Warlord. That's a band that like we all know the past,
Mm,
and the coming and the going, and like it's a little band that's like making no money. We're not a money making band. We do this because we love to do it.
yeah.
And so we're just kind of inching along and inching along. We're trying to get our career going. But then you turn around on the other hand, and everybody wants to book Blackie,
Mm,
and Wasp, and God bless Blackie and Wasp. They've been in my studio a gazillion times. I got the meat chopper in there, and I got the microphone handstand, and they're great guys. It's not them, but they're Trump supporters, but they make a whole lot more money than Mark Zonder and Warlord does. So we're not going to play with them. We're not going to knock them out of the box because we can't do that because that'll kill our bottom line. So we'll kind of just deal with them, and it's funny because I guarantee you there's 10 bands out there that right now that are complete left bands that would wash Blackie's car to do that tour and put up with those Trump banners because it's a great gig. So it's funny how people like to say it's on principle and I'm doing the right thing and everything, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to, like the OJ said, it's for the love of money.
sure is.
I don't see Blackie getting banned.
It sure
And
is.
I don't know if you've seen his stage show. God bless him. He's got these Trump banners. I mean, like big.
Mm,
Like he's a big Trump guy,
mm,
you know?
yeah.
And by the way, when did it go out of fashion to support your president? I don't understand that. My country, that's what we do. The president before Trump, not my favorite guy.
Mm,
I thought it was ridiculous. Did I go out slamming him? I mean, did I spend my life doing that? And hey, I'm thinking here, okay, when's the 4 years up? Okay. Like a lot of people. You didn't see people here going nuts from the stuff that they did with the border and a million other things. But, here's a guy who's trying to clean it up. But again, we've had the discussion 20 times. You're not going to convince people of things, if they're just completely, they're you can't change their mind or even have a discussion because like I said, so much of what I talk about or when I post, it's kind of a loaded question and like, well, prove me wrong. If I say, hey, I made a post and people flipped. I said, after they went into Venezuela and they got Maduro, I said, well, I guess our military is back. Good job. It's like America's not the doormat anymore that it's been for basically what the last 12 years between Obama's just giving money to Iran. I mean, Biden's on the beach sleeping. Now it's basically America first. And I'm not sure a lot of people outside America are really digging that right now, to be honest with you. But it's putting back America, you know, as America first. That's what he campaigned on. That's what people here in the country voted on. Funny how those elections work, right? It's like, hey, we voted for a guy that he said he's going to do A, B, and C, and he does A, B, and C, and everybody's, coming apart at the seams. Like it's not like he didn't tell you he was going to do that. So I don't know. It's you know, to be honest with you, I'm too old to worry about this, and we've dealt with worse. I just think it's ridiculous and ludicrous. I think, again, like I said, if I was something bigger, this would have never happened. You
correct.
know, it would have never touched it.
You are an anti-Semite though. I mean, we know that, don't we? I mean,
I know, I know, I
that's.
know, I know, I know. It's funny that, it's,
Sorry, man. I'm being facetious, and I'm being facetious because I know you, and it's this shit is just not. People don't know you, Mark. That's the thing, and it's
well, no, no, they only know what people
what.
that are clearing your name. I don't know if you know this or not. but I mean, I'm not going to presume anything, but you
Mm,
know I'm right.
yeah, I know you're Jewish. Yeah, yeah,
I didn't send you the picture, but my son is a Hasidic Jew, which means, oh, it doesn't get any more religious.
yep,
He's in New York. He's studying.
yep.
He, black hat, payas. I mean, it's like us in the 80s when we all went, okay, we're all in here. We're going to look like the Scorpions with the hair, the boots, the leather jackets. I mean, he is in.
Yeah,
He's a stud.
yeah.
And it's so funny. There's a picture of him and me, and he's him and I'm me. And I put like the new Warlord album, Anti-Semite. It's ridiculous because, and then they're going to say they can say whatever they want. Like I've always said, man, I've been called a lot worse by better people. And it's sorry, we're not going away. Sorry, you know, no, no,
Mm,
no, 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 not going to happen. What are they going to do? What are they going to take my birthday away? I don't know. What are you going to do? And the funny part of it that really gets me, if I really like kind of said what I wanted to say, and I really let it hang out there, like, then I could maybe understand. And there's guys out there posting that I'm kind of going, damn, that's, dude, take it back. That's just a little too much. You just don't talk to people like that. But my posts aren't like that. They're just not. And if you don't get the sarcasm, well, maybe that's, my fault, whatever the case may be, but I'm not going to apologize for it. And, I'm respectful. I never swear. I never like disgusting and like, I love guys out there that, oh yeah, I hope he gets hit by a truck. I mean, if I said that, no, no. It's it just, again, I don't know if it's just that gang mentality that's just they're just running with it. Virtue signal, I can never say that. But anyways, virtue signaling. So, it's not in my vocabulary. It's nothing I really ever worried
Well, it
about. It was
shouldn't
kind of
have to be.
like,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
play the music,
Yeah.
Sorry, I take pride in my country. I'll apologize for that. But again, man, it's just about right and wrong and law and order. That's all it is. It's plain and simple. Um, and just taking pride in your country and supporting the people that are trying to do good things for your country. And if you don't like the laws, change the laws, but you can't make it up on the fly,
Mm,
So it's kind of where we're at. The guys are totally into it. It's comical how everybody in the band is technically an immigrant from
mm,
one place to another.
yeah.
Um, so I don't know. We're gonna, like REO Speedwagon said, man, we're riding the storm out. I don't know what else to tell you, man. The tour starts in less than a month. Hell's Heroes United States tour. I'm ready to fly. I'm ready to go. I spent the last probably, I'd say about 8 months. I dropped 30 pounds, overly working out and riding miles every day. I've had carpal tunnel surgery in both hands and elbows. I
Oh,
had a shot in my back, in my spine, like a epidural kind of thing. I've had my 2 rounds of lubricating fluid in my knee. I'm ready, man. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm like the bionic man. I'm put back together again.
oh,
By the
you're a
way, if
kid
you
again,
ever,
man.
what's that?
You're a kid again.
Oh, tell me about it, man. It's great. I don't if everybody ever has to have carpal tunnel surgery,
Yeah.
have it done. I mean, it was 4 days and I was literally playing the drums. Now, mellow, kind of mellow, but I
Mm,
mean it's weird because with the carpal tunnel, lifting weights, no problem. Playing the drums, no problem. But I'd wake up in the middle of the night with like a numb hand.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
go to the doctor and he tells me like they do all the tests. They shoot electrodes through you. It's kind of interesting. It's like, well, is the voltage the same as it is here and here on
Wow.
your and he said I was close to permanent nerve damage, and I would
Mm,
have never known because playing the drums, nothing. Lifting weights, nothing hurt. So it's a great surgery. It's a
yeah.
great,
Whoa.
yeah, but we're excited about the tour, and I haven't played in America probably 20 some odd years because everything's been in Europe. Warlord has never played here. And I can tell by the fan reaction. I think people are ready for it. I mean, granted, we all might be in our 60s,
Mm.
but the Warlord fans have been waiting a long time for this. And what was cool, like in Europe, a lot of times you'd have Warlord fans come and they come with their kids, because their kids are old enough to appreciate it. So it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it.
And the European dates are set for when?
Whatever, I don't have them in front of me, to be honest with you. It's one of those things like until it like comes up,
Yeah.
whatever the Hard Rock or a Rock Hard Festival was,
Mm.
it's like the day after that.
Yeah, around there. Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's is it end of May? No, end of May?
Uh, potentially, yeah.
I think so. I think it's that. It ends with the Lake Festival,
Yep.
which is that's cool. They've been great. Really good people. Really good people. We're headlining that. They're very excited to have us. Again, I don't know because I've never been involved in something like this.
Mm, mm.
I don't, and as much as I hear from a lot of people in Europe, um, how this is kind of like a certain sect, and that's kind of like it. I've been doing interviews in other countries, and they don't even bring it up. So I don't even, I just did a recently one Bulgaria and somewhere else, and all they want to know about is the tour. When are we coming? They want to know about Warlord. Well, you're going to do a new record. You're going to do this. So I don't know how big this is. I think it's someone has this have people have described it to me as, a few dogs with really loud voices kind of thing. It's
Yep.
it's 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 the really loud voice thing. And the people that obviously are in power and can direct that and manipulate other people. I don't know if you saw the post from my buddy Ferdy. Did you see?
No, no, I
Okay.
didn't. No, no.
Ferdy's a guy, everybody knows Ferdy. He plays with Axel Rudy Pell and a million other people.
Mm,
No one on this planet can say a word negative about that guy. Seriously. Nobody can say a negative word about Ferdy. Nicest, just the greatest guy. I met him because he was this huge Face Warning fan. And then he goes up on stage and plays in front of like 10,000 people while I was opening up for him.
mm,
Just this
mm.
great guy. And we became good friends. And when he asked me to play on his record, I told him absolutely, but I can't charge you. No, no, I'm just, plus, it was really easy stuff, to be honest with you. It wasn't like some proggy thing where like my head was going to explode. It was song oriented. It was great. We just laid it down. And when all the stuff crap starts happening, he comes out with a post. Go look at my page. Go look at the Warlord page.
Mm.
He comes out with the whole thing, and he said he's had people call him to tell him to stop selling his record, because I played on it. That's you tell me if this isn't like like just some really sick shit.
Oh God.
I mean, does this remind you of anything? I mean, I don't know. This is starting to remind me of some history lessons that have gone down. So you're gonna tell me, and again, who's Mark Zonder? That's the classic. You know what I mean? Like, really? You're gonna spend your time and effort? Well, first of all, you forgot who you're dealing with, or you don't have a fucking clue of who you're dealing with. But you're calling my friend and telling him not to sell his record because I'm on it? Really? Here in the United States, that would be a lawsuit and a half.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be honest with you. What's going down, if it was going down in the United States, it would be a lawsuit. There's no question this would be a lawsuit here in the United States.
Mm.
Over there, it's not worth the time and the energy and the money.
Yeah.
But it's what can I say? You know, it is kind of what it is. We're going to carry on. There's no doubt. It actually, the guys are united.
Mm,
They're united in this. My band.
mm.
So we're good. We're good. We can't
I'm
wait to
just
play.
I'm just absolutely gobsmacked. I mean, it's one of those things where I never thought this would even be uh, on
Well,
the
it just kind of
radar.
shows.
It's absolutely astonishing,
It just kind of shows you where people are at. You know,
yeah.
and it all comes down to our president. That's what it is. It has anything. All it has to do with that. It's Trump derangement syndrome, and then, well, how does it feel to play with a Trumper? I mean, like, First of all, let's get something really clear. So all these, but these people don't listen, so it doesn't really matter.
Mm,
But for you, because you and I are having a conversation,
mm,
I wasn't raised a Republican. I was raised a Democrat. Okay. I was raised to vote for who you think would be best. I voted for Bill Clinton twice. Okay. I thought he was cool. I thought he did a good job. I think I voted for Obama once, but I didn't vote for him the second time because I thought he did a horrible job the first time. So just I'm looking at the things. I'm not just going, oh man, Republican, Republican, Republican. And then when we got into this whole Joe Biden thing and opening up the borders and giving away the farm and driving the country into debt, I voted for Trump 3 times. So don't tell me I'm a Trumper and don't tell me I'm this and that and the other. I voted for who I thought, which is what America is based on, I thought would do the best for the country. End of conversation. If in 4 years or 3 years from now, if the Democrats really have someone that I go, whoa, whoa, let me check into this. Fetterman, I don't know if you know much about American politics, but let me just put it this way. I'm open to anything, okay? But it has to appeal to me. It can't just be, oh, because he's the Republican and he's the Democrat. So that's what always kind of irks me a little bit too when people say, oh, he's a MAGA. I'm not MAGA. You've never seen the word MAGA in any of my posts. MAGA? No. I just believe in our country and I believe in the laws and the rule of law. Here's the rule, guys. You come across that border, not legally, you're leaving. It's right there in our laws. Pretty simple. And what all these people don't realize, and of course, because they don't listen and they don't do research, Obama, the deporter in chief, him and Clinton both deported more than Trump has. Obama's the one who came up with the cages, with the kids in the cages. Okay. But no one said anything at that time. Okay. Okay, no matter what the guy does, a friend of mine goes, yeah, if Trump cures cancer, Democrats are going to go out and get cancer. It's like, you can't, Trump saves baby from shark infested water, and then the other backside is, Trump deprives shark of food.
mm.
It's
Can't
it's a
win.
it's a
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
but again, no one likes to talk about it. They just like to, try to, lash out or whatever, they're going to dox somebody. I mean, that's what it is. It's doxing. You think what? You're going to ruin my career? I don't even know if I have a career, to be honest with you. Okay. At my age, am I living the dream per se? I've busted my ass my whole life, but you're going to ruin my career. What? Knock me off of the #1 chart topping hit? Come on, man. Let's be serious. These people have to have better things to do than go look at my high school, record. And, oh, did Mark do anything inappropriate in high school? I mean, you got to get a life, man. I mean, please, just put down the computer, go outside, ride a bike, go lift some weights, whatever, go chase girls, whatever.
Mm.
But, this thing of like, looking for stuff. And it's like, how'd you guys come up with that stuff? You know what I mean? How'd you guys come up with that stuff? It's like, where'd you find that? I can't even find that. I've heard stuff about me that I'm going, I don't even know what a meme is. I mean, I know what it is, but I go, I don't know how to, you've never seen me with a meme. I like, what are you talking about? I guess it's one of those things, if we can't find anything, we're just going to make it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, this actually galvanized the band. Okay. Now, within the band itself.
Mm,
Now, how does it affect us in the public arena? Well, we're going to find out, you know. It seems like there's quite a lot of support. It seems like a lot of other people have been, it was funny because, between I think like Vicious Rumors and Riot, they had to replace their drummers, because the promoters, pressured them. And well, you can do the tour, but your drummer's not welcome in our venue or whatever. I guess you can't do that with Warlord. It doesn't quite work. So they had to cancel the band. What are they going to do? Like Warlord with Marks is like, okay, come on. But there's a lot of people that this is affecting,
mm,
you know. And it's totally wrong. And a lot of people think that it might come back and bite because if enough people get sick and tired of this, and I see a lot of comments that people were not that they were afraid to speak up, but maybe didn't feel that they had a voice. And they're like, yeah, in my band, and 2 years ago at this festival, they banned us from the festival, and they wouldn't let us play because our singer, is a Trump fan or whatever. I don't see guys getting blown out because they're like, child predators. I mean, that's cool, and hey, let's burn somebody at the cross, and that's cool. But it's all about the politics, which is really, really screwy, you know. Uh, but no, man, we're rocking and rolling, and we're ready to, will deliver us from evil. Kind of fits, don't it?
It
You
sure does.
know. And what people don't, and let me get something straight here.
Mm,
All you people, all 15 of you Warlord fans out there,
mm,
if my boy Bill was here right now, this place would be on fire.
mm.
That guy did not, but you see, I kind of have a casual kind of like, okay, whatever attitude. I'm not, Bill would
Takes
have
no
been hell
shit.
on wheels, man.
Mhm,
He would have been like, hold my beer, as they say. He would have been like, you know, no, he would not have tolerated this crap, And to be honest with you, anybody that knows him and seen his posts kind of before he passed and stuff,
mm.
he, he would have lit this thing up without a doubt. Yeah, miss him, needless to say. But he's there every show. Warlord's played quite a few shows over the last 2 years.
Mm,
Well, for Warlord, we played an amazing amount of shows for Warlord, but
mm,
we play, I don't know, at 20, 30, 40 shows maybe. Um, and he's there every night, man. There's no question, man. The minute that thing rolls, 1984, beginning of the end, a world at war, whatever, whatever. I mean, Bill is there, and I count those first four click offs to Lucifer's hammer, and it goes, whoa,
mm.
and we go into it. He's there. And all those memories come back to me of sitting there jamming at Warlord Manor and all that stuff. And he's there. He really is. There's no doubt about it. I mean, without him, we wouldn't be there. So it's kind of obvious how that one works.
Yeah, yeah. Do you see it affecting A through Z in any way, shape, or form? I mean,
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. But the good news on that one is the label here obviously knows me.
mm,
It's not like you're dealing with a German record company or a foreign record company. Now, to be honest with you, um, I don't know. We're a far way away from doing a record, another record. Nick Van Dyke is I know he has to do a redemption record first,
mm,
and he's got a lot of stuff going on, and it's taking a little time. Um, but the Warlord thing, is kind of busy. But it all depends. I'm thinking on one hand, you have an American label. They know me. They know what the deal is. Um, but you never know. But on the other hand, too, is like when that time rolls around. I mean, does this fade, or is this going to be like the number one story of all time? You know what I mean? I
yeah,
mean, how long can this have fire? And that's the thing.
mm,
Our plan of attack is everything's positive. I'm not doing an interview with you here right now and just like I call it, don't put any meat on the bone.
yeah,
Don't put anything out there that someone's going to go, well, I don't know, man. He said that blah, 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 blah. You don't give him anything. You ask the question.
mm,
I gave you the answers.
mm,
They're my feelings or my how I feel about things
mm,
and kind of the way it is. It's no surprise to anybody.
yeah,
You know. But
yeah,
again, anybody can have their opinions. If you don't like it, put up a better candidate next time. If you don't like it, you know, that's why, it's so funny because everybody wants to love to be in a democracy. We're in a democracy until you're in the minority, then it's not so much of a democracy anymore. When your guy doesn't win or your girl doesn't win, screw democracy. It's funny how, again, if you have the football, it's all good, but when you don't, oh man, I don't want to play. I don't want to play this game. So, but no, I don't know. I'm just keeping busy. Um, we'll see what comes.
That's it, man. Well, man, thank you so much for partaking in this chat. Greatly appreciated. And best of luck on the tour
Yeah.
in the US. It sounds very, very exciting, and the mere fact that you haven't done this in 20 odd years, at least for the US,
Well, Warlord
is
played in the States.
crazy.
Yeah, Warlord's never played in the States, and what we're planning is this is kind of a West Coast thing, but we're kind of getting out of the West Coast kind of quick and heading back over just because there's really not that many places to play on the West Coast compared to the East Coast. You know,
Mm.
they're spread out. There's
Yeah.
places to play, but it's really spread out. You don't want to be driving 8, 9 hours every night. But we are planning an East Coast run toward the end of the year too. The same setup with the same bands.
Mm,
You know, because here you go, what you're getting into is like work visas,
mm,
okay? And which is a nightmare. And but they're good for so long, so you want to play in America as much as you can. You can't say, okay, we'll play some dates, and then we'll come back in a couple of years. Well, you got to get new visas, new visas, and it's a fortune. It's ridiculous.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we're gonna they're planning it right now. We have a really good the agent who's doing the booking, who booked this, uh, is going to be looking into the East Coast right now. Actually, in the beginning, it was a toss-up. Do we do East first or West Coast first? And I think the gigs just rolled out better, possibly on the
Mm,
West.
mm,
But, on the East Coast, you can play New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, and then one or two places in each of those,
mm.
and only be driving a couple hours all the time, and really like do some serious work instead of like, okay, LA to San Francisco. Okay, that's a 7 hour drive, man. Okay, then to Sacramento, then to Oregon, Portland is kind of like, okay, there's some driving going on,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so you got a day off. It's not a day off, you're driving.
Mm,
That's not a day off. That's driving.
mm, mm.
So, but no, very excited. I can't wait to play. This is not that I needed any inspiration, because whenever the lights go down, I get the same feeling. But this gives me a little inspiration, maybe a little chip on my shoulder per se. I don't know. Um, you know, I told the guys, every song, every accent's just a big old middle finger. We're here, we're not going anywhere, and we're bigger and better and sounding better than ever.
Yep.
So, if you don't like it, turn the channel, man. That's all I can say.
That's it, man. On that final note, fantastic. We will chat very, very soon. Thank you for coming back on to Prog
Oh,
Rock Digital,
oh,
man.
always, man. Always. You always give me a good platform. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, always great chatting with you, man. Thank you so much,
Oh,
my dear friend, and we'll chat again very, very soon.
you're an anti-Semite friend.
Yep, I won't forget that. Yes.
Yeah. I really appreciate your time, man. We will talk soon.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much.